welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today I've got some fun Grinch DIYs to share with you, not only for your home, but also for your vehicle. If you want to know how to make them, stick around. I'll show you how. Thank y'all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Right, Maxwell? Okay, so for this one, I'm going to start with a pool noodle. I'm going to cut it at 21 inches in length. Next, I'm going to take a piece of red fleece. It measures 21 inches by 8 inches, and I'm just going to wrap the noodle. So starting at the very edge, just kind of get your fabric stretched out there. At the very edge, just go right down one side, gluing to the fabric, not the noodle. That'll help it from getting melted so much. And then just start at the end, and then just start rolling it up. And you want to make sure you get it smooth. Just kind of stretch it so you don't have any wrinkles in it. For the cuff, I'm taking a piece of white fleece. It measures 8.5 by 8.5, and I'm folding it into the center where it meets in the center. And then I'm going to fold that over, and I'm going to glue that together. You want the cuff to be thick. Just kind of get it flattened out there, and then we're going to wrap it around the noodle for the cuff. And I'm overhanging mine just a teeny bit there. And then we're going to put a bead of glue down the center part where the two meet together to hold it together. And next for the hand, you're going to need 2 layers of some felt, and just draw your hand out there with a long pointy finger. I'm probably going past my finger about 1.5 inches. Just kind of spread your hand out there and just kind of draw it in. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then cut both of those layers out together so that they match. Next, you're going to start gluing them together, leaving the bottom open, and just get as close to the edge as you can. You just want to go around like you're tracing out the edges of them. But try to make them even. That's dried. We're going to start making the fingers with some wire, and you could use a coat hanger on this. I'm just using some regular wire. It's kind of a thick wire, and I'm going to go into each one of the fingers, and I'm going to glue these in to kind of get it as straight as you can. But again, you can use a coat hanger, and you can use a thinner wire. Really, it doesn't matter. Any kind of wire that you can use, because you're just going to need it to bend the fingers. Then slide your wire up into the tip of each one of those fingers and glue those in. You don't want too much hanging out the bottom part. And then just keep going till you have all your fingers glued in. Okay, when you get these glued in, you want to go ahead and take the wire and fold over the edge. And if you need to do that before you glue them in, that's probably the easier way. But you don't want any sharpness at the bottom of them. And we're just going to take some polyfill. I'm just using some pliers to do this. And then just start stuffing them. And just get them as stuffed as you want to. Really, it just mainly in the palm area or the base part of the hand. That's where you really want to get the polyfill. And then I'm going to add a cork down at the bottom to attach this to my noodle. Just put a little regular wine cork right in the center. If you don't have a wine cork, you can use a dowel stick and just cut it short. And next, you're going to start shaping his fingers, because he is going to be holding an ornament. So you do want to kind of bend them, kind of like look at your fingers like as if you're holding an ornament, and then figure out exactly how you want those to bend to match that. Like that. And next you're going to take a 1/4 inch by 6 inch dowel stick, and you're just going to sharpen one end and run it into that cork that's in the hand. And then we're going to take it and we're going to cut it short, and we're going to run it into the other cork so we can join the two. And you just need to run it in there until it just grabs. You don't need to go all the way down in there, and then just cut that short and then glue the two together. And you're just going to glue that right down into the center of that noodle. Next, you're just going to take some fur and attach it down at the base just to cover up where that noodle is, go all the way around. And I'm just using some scrap pieces that I had. I'll give you the link for these. I got these on Amazon, but I'm just using some scrap pieces that I had left over from other projects. Okay, and I'm going to kind of go fast on this so you can see what I'm doing. Just kind of get it as much fur as you want to. And if you really want it to be a lot more furry than this, use bigger sheets of the fur, but I just wanted enough to cover him up a little bit. And since I was just using scrap stuff I had, that's kind of how I did. And then kind of comb it so you can get more out of it. And I'm going to kind of go real fast on this. I just want you to see what I'm doing, but just put a little bit on each one of his fingers. And I'm just trimming it. And if you're cutting faux fur, cut the backing only, not through the faux fur, so you don't cut your fur short. And I'm just attaching one to each one of the fingers. This really was a quick and easy project, and it looks so cute in the tree. Got all the fingers done. I'm just coming in to the back and adding where I have little gaps. Coming in with a red ornament, and I'm just going to attach it right to his fingers. And I'm just going to use a wire, kind of roll it up, hook it onto yours, and then we're going to glue it in between the two fingers. Just figure out how far you want yours to hang down. And then be sure and curve that because you don't want it to be sharp. And now I'm just going to poke a hole right through the center here to hang it on there. And then just glue his two fingers to it. This next one, I'm using a terracotta pot that measures 2 3/4 inches tall by 3 inches wide. And I'm going to paint it with a crimson chalk paint by Whoville. And I'm going to paint the inside and the outside both. Okay, next I got these two bottle brush trees from Dollar Tree. They're glitter trees, and try to shake a lot of the glitter off of them before you start in this project. And then take the base off of one of them, and we're going to push them together. We're going to tie some baker's twine around them to join the two together. And I'm just using some red and white baker's twine on this. I'm going to tie the top part first. I'm going to tie it in a knot, and then I'm going to trim the excess off. Now you're going to lose a lot of glitter right here, but that's okay. I'll show you here in a little bit how to make it not so messy. And then once you get that done, you're going to start going right down the center of it every 1/2 inch and wrapping it tight. We're just joining these two together, and go as tight as you can. And then once you get to the bottom, just tie that off into a knot. Then any tree that's hanging over the base, you want to cut it flat with the base. And you're going to take the top part of the tree and just bend it over. And then I'm going to come back in here and give it a little bit more haircut. I'm going to just trim a little bit more off of anything that's kind of hanging over the edges. Just kind of clean it up a little bit. To reduce the amount of glitter, I'm just going to take some regular hairspray and I'm going to hairspray it all the way around. And then I got this little table scatter, these little beads from Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to attach these to this. I'm just going to put several of them on here. Just kind of dress it up a little bit. And I'm just going to glue this right to the top of that pool noodle. Cover up the top part of the pool noodle. I'm just adding some little reindeer moss. It's the same color, that kind of lime green color. I'm just going to glue a little bit all the way around on top of that. Next, I dress it up a little bit. I got some fur at Hobby Lobby. It's like a 4-inch fur on a roll of ribbon, and I just cut a piece of it, and I'm going to just wrap it all the way around the flower pot. Just kind of dressed it up a little bit. And then that was pretty much easy. This next one, I'm just using a vase. It measures 7 inches by 3 1/4 inches, and I'm just wrapping some packing stuff around this. I just got this in a package. If you don't have this, you can put like quilt batting around it, just something that's soft. Okay, and I'm just going to glue this right to my vase. And then I'm just going to cut off any excess that's hanging over the top. And then glue that around the top part of the vase. Okay, if you're still watching the video at this point, be sure and leave in the comments, #Grinch. Okay, then I'm taking a piece of red fleece and I'm just going to glue it right around the vase. You just cut enough that goes over the top and hangs over the bottom. And I'm putting mine about 1.5 inches over the top and about 1 inch over the bottom. And then I'm cutting little 1/2-inch slits all the way around on the bottom part, and I'm going to glue this to the bottom. Just spend a little bit of time on this to make sure you do get it flat. Cover the bottom with another piece of fleece about the same size as the base. The top, I'm just going to glue that right down inside the vase. Just fold it over and tuck it in. Next, I'm attaching a piece of pool noodle, and I cut this about 1 inch lower than the edge of the vase and just glue that in. Next, I'm taking a piece of faux fur that measures 3 1/4 inches, and I'm going to overhang the top by 1 1/4 inches, and then just glue it around till the seam meets it into the back. You want to make sure that you are matching the 2 seams up. And then just glue that all the way around. Then I'm going to glue the top part. I'm just going to tuck it right inside. This way you won't see the noodle when I put the hand in there. Next, I got this little Grinch hand at Hobby Lobby. If you saw my Hobby Lobby video, this is the one that I bought there. And I'm just putting it inside of here, and I'm going to cut it off about 1 inch. And then if you comb it, you can make it look a lot more full. Just kind of spend a little bit of time kind of combing it out to open it up a little bit. To attach it, I'm just going to put some glue right down the end of it on just one side, and I'm going to glue it to the noodle. Just push it towards the back of the noodle and let that dry. Since the hole in the noodle is a little bit bigger than that little stick, take a cork, just cut it in half, and you can just slide that down into the front to hold that in place. And I'm just putting 2 corks, or 1 cork cut in half. Okay, next I'm taking an ornament, and I'm going to take the lid off and glue it in here. Make sure that you don't skip this part, because you want to make sure it all stays together. And then I'm just taking a piece of wire, and I'm going to wire this one to his fingers. And this is a real thin floral wire that I'm using. Just kind of twist it around the ornament, and then you're going to twist it around his fingers. And I put 2 fingers together. Okay, then I'm going to add a little bit of glue, and then I'm going to glue his fur to the ornament too to kind of hold it all in place. All right, and that one was pretty simple. This one I'm using some 16-inch pieces of cardboard, and I'm going to glue these together. Now I'll show you here in the end. I had to do some modifications, so don't worry about the measurements right now. I'll just show you this. I'm just using this for strength. That's why I'm putting 4 of them together. If you have a thicker cardboard, just use a couple pieces of thicker cardboard. But I had to peel off 2 of these at the end, and I'll show you that here in a little bit. And then I'm going to take a pool noodle that measures 8 inches, and I'm going to cut it right here in half, and then I'm going to cut it down the center as well. Now that's 8 inches on that pool noodle. And then you're going to cut it straight down the middle because you want 1 part for the front and 1 part for the back. I'm going to place it right in the center, and I'm going to mark my line. And we're going to cut down all the way down the size of that noodle on both sides, and then we're going to cut those 2 pieces off. And then I got a knife out. It finally worked a little bit faster. And then just cut that off right there. We're going to glue 1 part of the noodle on this side, and then we're going to flip it over and glue the other part on the other side. Okay, next to secure all this together, I'm just going to use some blue painter's tape, and I'm just going to tape this around a couple of times. Okay, I'm going to show you this part a little bit so you understand why the bag's on there, but disregard, we're going to change it up at the end. Just like we did the other 2 arms, we're just going to wrap this with that same red fleece. And then glue the top part to the noodle. And you're going to do that on both sides. And glue the opposite end just to the noodle on this side as well. And then just like the vase, we're just going to glue that trim, that same trim, right around the top part of this one as well. With just a little bit of overhang so we can tuck it in. This one, I'm just going to cut little 1/2-inch slits all the way around to tuck this in. And then just glue that right inside. Okay, next just glue your arm in. And push it all the way down in there. And this is where I had to modify it. I took both the front and the back pieces of cardboard off. They were just a little bit too thick for the tailgate. Okay, and then I just opened up the side and just tucked it right in. It closed up perfectly. Okay, and there he goes. And he went on a trip about 100 miles, and I called him afterwards, and he said, held up just fine. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video today. If you decorate with the Grinch theme at your house at Christmas time, I'd love to hear in the comments. If you like these kind of videos, be sure and give me a like, subscribe, and ring that bell to be notified when I have a new video upload. Thank y'all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And if nobody's told you today, you're awesome. See you next time. Thanks for watching.